Greetings, spiritual warriors, and welcome to a new week. The rune cast for this week was drawn in the early hours of Monday, the 13th of July, and it takes us through to Sunday, the 20th of July 2026. Of the 7 runes which were drawn in this week's 6-position cast, 4 are cycle runes, each of which will focus directly on the elements and mechanisms of self-change, course correction, and life improvement. So let's dive in. The foundation shows that events, situations, and circumstances of this week are all about new beginnings, new chapters, new opportunities, and opening up with the recognition that the starting point is with the self. In this, we need to show through our words and actions that we are willing to change. We will need to be honest with ourselves and others. Funding cooperation will be key. We will need to be flexible and flowing in our attitudes and conduct. We will also need to focus in the present and on the tasks at hand for their own sake. We must do nothing in excess while we work on developing our knowledge of self. The influences of the past and what has led us to this new starting point has been the work that we've been putting in over the last 9 months or so. We've been wrapping up loose ends, freeing ourselves from the old and outgrown in terms of ruts, behaviors, habits, attitudes, situations, possibly even relationships, so that the new paths were enabled to start unfolding as they will this week. Completion of a phase of development was key, as was harmonizing and adjusting in the sphere of personal relationships. In the present, which is all about the early part of this week, taking us through to roughly Thursday-ish, we are advised to keep questing. Many of us will find ourselves urged towards self-realization. Right action will be required to help us overcome our resistance to let right action flow through us. We are advised to be patient and to stop trying to make things happen. Everything in life, we are reminded, has a divine timing. We must make time for self-healing. We're also advised to regulate our excesses and not allow our material reality to weigh heavy on us at this time, as this could well interfere and limit our progress. We must trust our higher self and the Creator Spirit so that when necessary, we can even stand apart from like-minded others and hold firm to our integrity. The influences of the latter part of the week show that we will experience a quickening in our development. However, along the way, we will have good reason to pause along the way, to buy ourselves the time to undertake the cleansing of the old and being able to integrate the new. A good attitude will be required, and we must not collapse into the harmful thought patterns aligned with victimhood, which will cause some of us to suffer over suffering. It's vital that we moderate our impulses with correct and timely action. Again, we must not overstrive. We are reminded to wait on the will of God, the Creator Spirit, and trust in the divine timing. There is a risk that some of us, through impatience, could lead ourselves down the path of disaster, especially if you decide to act in haste and without forethought. The overarching challenge for the week is to be equal with yourself. I know that this isn't easy and sometimes it might feel a bit selfish, but if we're not equal with ourselves, we cannot be equal with other people. So if you're new to this, begin the process of learning to understand what it means to be equal with yourself. If you've already been on this journey for a while, this is something that we need to continue to work on to strive for that inner balance. We need to be aware of ourselves and our relationships and partnerships on all levels. Are we being equal with ourselves and others? Are we allowing others to take advantage in some way or another? Are we lying down and allowing ourselves to be doormats? All of these things need to be considered as part of the process of learning to be equal. We need to develop the ability to fund cooperation, work towards balance, and release our worries and concerns, as worries and concerns cause stress, and as we all know, stress kills. Be aware that sometimes the best and right course of action will be to submit, retreat, and perhaps even sacrifice a long-cherished desire. We will need to be patient. We must not push forward, especially into situations where we are in fact blind to the consequences thereof. We need time to observe. So when you are presented with a delay or a limitation this week, use that time to observe. What are you getting into? Use your foresight. There will be times this week where we could find ourselves feeling drained of energy. Again, this is the Creator Spirit's way of buying us the time that we need to seek out the old and outgrown and cleanse. Above all, we have to exercise caution and fine-tune ourselves to our higher self and to the Creator Spirit. Trust that the seeds of the new us is found in the husk of the old, and that a seed needs time to germinate before the new shoots of the new us will spring forth. In summary, the Creator Spirit will act in our lives this week as the great teacher through the bringer of pain and limitation. It's clear that something that we've been guided to disown, so this is something old and outgrown that we've let go of, is going to try to creep back into our lives and cause havoc. We are required to cleanse the self and to build strength of character. It will be vital that we restrain our impulses, especially frustration, anger, and impatience. Modesty and good temper will be required as we undergo the dark side of our journey, working with the shadow side of self to heal any imbalances or old wounds. The events of this week are designed to teach us the difference between our needs and our wants. If we focus on our needs, the wants will take care of themselves. It is also important to be aware that any constraints that we might face this week are not of our doing. They are being caused by external third-party and environmental issues. So with that, my lovelies, I would like to wish you a fantastic week. If you need any clarity or explanation in terms of this week's reading in the context of your life, please do leave me a comment. I do go through all of the comments across all of my social platforms. So wherever you find this video, leave me a comment that you need to get in touch, or DM me. If you've met me in person and you've got my number through one of my flyers, or you've been to my website and picked up my number, just ping me a note, ask me a question. I am here to help. It's all about aligning ourselves correctly so that we can live our best life in these very difficult and challenging times. So have a fantastic week, and I'll see you all next week, if not sooner. Till next week, bye for now.